Hi guys, thanks for clicking on this video. I hope you're as excited as I am to take a look at a brand new palette from Natasha Denona. This is the Glam Face Palette Eye and Cheek Essential. I want to give you guys a little first impression, get my take on this brand new palette. I am literally opening it just now for the first time. Wow, it's so pretty. When I first saw this palette, I was not thinking of picking it up. I don't really know why. I think I just saw that it was both a face and an eye palette, and I was like, oh, I don't really need that. That's more for like low maintenance makeup wearers, which I typically am not. Like, I enjoy grabbing an eyeshadow palette and a face palette or individual products for each thing that I'm doing on my face. I don't know why that was my thought process, but then I saw some good reviews on this and I just thought it would be so fun to pick up, especially for you guys to review on my channel. I have not, oh my God, let me put it this way. I have zero Natasha Denona palettes in my collection. I actually don't think I might have anything Natasha Denona at all. I did buy a highlight at one point and I ended up giving it away because I just wasn't getting anything out of it. I've definitely wanted to buy a lot of Natasha Denona stuff, but it's so expensive that I never pull the trigger. So this was a really good price point. And again, I just thought it would be really fun to review. I saw good reviews on it already, so I was really excited to pick it up and have it in my collection. I also bought this for my sister Morgan, and she was super excited about it as well. So this is what the palette looks like. There are two shades of this. I picked up the light one. I don't know if the other one's called dark or deep or something, but this is more for my skin tone. Although I do think the dark one could work as well. I just thought this would be better out of the two for me. So this is what the palette looks like. We have 5 eyeshadows. Instead of a traditional name, they all have a placement written underneath. So for example, this really shimmery light shade is called Inner Corner. Then we have Transition, then we have Crease, then we have Outer Corner, and then we have Smoke. That's really nice, especially if you're a beginner, to know how to place the shadows. I think I'm going to go buy this today with the look that we're gonna create. I'm really nervous though, because this shadow for Outer Corner is not ever a shadow that I would go, ooh, Outer Corner, yeah. No, that's not what I would do. It's very shimmery. However, we're gonna try it out. I'm also gonna swatch these for you, of course. And then at the top of the palette, we have 2 face shades. So this is actually a cream blush, and then we have a highlight called Star Glow. Now they both are underneath this little flap here, which by the way, I can't even get with my nails. Like, I had to use tweezers just now. So I think they are both cream products. I know the blush is cream, but I think the highlight is cream as well, which will be interesting. I mean, they look stunning in the as far as shades go, but it'll be interesting because I already have powder on my face. So this is gonna be a true test. Let's go ahead and get some swatches done so that we can get a good idea of what we can expect from this palette, and I'm really excited. Okay, let's start with the cream shades at the top. Okay, interesting. This actually doesn't feel like a cream blush at all. This feels like a creamy powder, honestly. Like, I was expecting to put my finger in and it feel wet in a way, but it's not feeling that way at all. What the hell? It's even swatching like a powder. That's the swatch I got so far. And I kind of dug in there a lot. That's okay. To be honest, I mean, obviously I'm gonna try it on, but that doesn't feel like a cream. Okay, let's try the Star Glow. Okay, that feels like, ooh, that feels like a really, is this a freaking joke? Is this a freaking joke? Oh my God. Okay, I need to, oh my God. I need a sip of water is what I need, because this just took my breath away. So the cream blush doesn't feel like a cream in my opinion. It feels like a different texture powder. I was a little disappointed when I swatched it because it wasn't that like punchy or pigmented, but a lot of people don't want that out of a blush. A lot of people want a blush that they can build up. When I touch this highlight, however, that feels like the smoothest freaking powder I've ever felt. And the shine on this. I don't even know what to say. Okay, we're gonna move on. I know I'm acting like an insane person. Oh my God, that's so beautiful. Okay, let's go to the shadows. First, we're gonna do inner corner, transition, crease, outer corner, and smoke. Okay, so we have all the swatches here. I am really excited, you guys. I'm very excited. I really am impressed so far with this inner corner shade, and then the mattes are stunning. I'm definitely impressed with the outer corner shade. It's a little chunkier than I was, I guess, expecting. It's kind of flaky. It feels kind of like you would need a glitter glue. And I'm still thrown off by it being called outer corner. I know it's like, get over it. But if that's called outer corner and then this one is called smoke, I'm kind of like, where do I put this? Because typically the way I do makeup, which is very like 2014, I guess, I would do definitely this like inner corner slightly on the lid. I would do this one all over the lid. I would do this as a transition, this is the crease, this is the outer corner. So I might do that because obviously those are just suggestions and I'm just a little bit like, I don't know, intimidated to do that. I know it's very like, can you chill? But no, I cannot chill. I have never been chill and I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. Still very excited for the cheek products as well, but let's start with the eyes. Typically, I would have started with my eyes completely and then done my face makeup, but I didn't want to be here all day. But before we get started, let's do this, shall we? Wow. Ooh, such a nice mirror too. Like if I was traveling, this would be the best mirror ever to like hold up to do your makeup. I really love that. So first what I'm gonna do is take a smaller fluffy brush. This is actually a Sephora brush, the number 24, and I'm going to do that in the crease shade. And I'm literally just gonna do all right here in the crease, and then we will blend it out with the transition. So not sure if you can see, but it's actually not that powdery of a shade. There's a little tiny bit of kick up, but not a lot. Oh, pretty pigmented, which I could kind of tell from the swatch. I'm going right in the socket, but also a little bit above because when I relax my eye, that kind of is hidden because I do have kind of deep set hooded eyes. Okay, so that is the crease shade. I'm gonna really try to not overblend. I'm such a perfectionist that I end up over blending and then everything looks gross. So we're gonna just do the other side. By the way, I did prime my eyelids just with concealer, and I did set that concealer with a light powder. That's just always how I prep my lid for eyeshadow, all the way up to my brow bone. So that's what we're working with, in case you're wondering. Honestly, blending so easily. Like I know we're just doing one simple step, but very, very easy to blend. The only other Natasha Denona palette I've ever had, which this is gonna change, this has to change. I need more in my life, I just know it. I need to stop being so dumb and I need to pull the trigger on some of these purchases that I've really wanted. The only other palette that I've ever had is the Star palette, and I actually ended up getting rid of it or giving it away. Not because it wasn't good, just because I was never using it, literally never. But I think some of her smaller palettes, like the $65 palettes, I think I would use some of those way more than the Star palette. Just side note. So I definitely am intrigued to get more of her stuff. Okay, now we're gonna go into transition, and I'm using a slightly bigger brush. I'll show you the difference if you're curious. You know, I have to be detailed as hell. This is the Sephora brush that I just used in my crease, and this one is actually from Sonia Kashuk, which I really do like these black brushes from Sonia Kashuk. I haven't used any of her other ones that aren't in this like black matte line. I don't even know what this is called. Oh, I think, yeah, it was called Tapered Crease, but it's like been faded off of the brush. So Tapered Crease, you can get it at Target. Really nice, not too big. So I'm gonna go into Transition. Again, a little bit of kick up, but not a lot. And I'm just going to go right on top of the edge of that first shade. Not over the whole thing, just over the top edge. Okay, so that is what we have so far. Really standard, light brown, neutral as hell. That is the thing, these are not very warm, these are not cool, they're just straight up neutral, which I think is great because I do think, like I said at the beginning, most of the people that are gonna be interested in this palette are people who want something for absolutely every day, people who want something for travel, people who don't want to think like, what palette am I going to use for this really intricate look? They just want something easy and go to. And trust me, a lot of days I like that as well. Okay, next I want to go in, I think with the smoke shade first. Again, it's that last shade here in the palette, the warmest dark brown, and I'm going to use this type of brush. It's a tapered, I believe goat hair, it's natural bristle brush. This is from Delium Tools, $7.76. You can find this on Amazon actually, or you can use like the MAC, I think $2.17, but this is cheaper. And I'm not gonna pick up a lot just in case it's really pigmented. I literally just like dragged it into the palette twice. And I'm gonna do this on the outer corner. This is pretty pigmented actually. And because I do have hooded eyes, like you see, I apply it like this and then I lower just to see like what can you actually see when I'm just looking in everyday life. And usually that means I have to go up here a little bit more so that when I relax, or you could just relax your eye and place the shadow that way. And now I'm just slightly going over that edge with the transition shade just to soften the edge a little bit. Okay, and that is what we have so far. Now I'm going to go into the shade that is labeled Outer Corner, this one that I said was a little chunkier. Against my better judgment, I'm going to just use it dry. Just see where we can get with it dry. I'm going to use a flat brush. And this one that I pulled out is from Smith Cosmetics. This is the 253, and it's just a flat brush. You can use absolutely any flat brush. I'm like hesitating because I really want to put a glitter glue down, but let's just try it. Let's just try it dry, absolutely dry. And then if we need to wet the brush or something, we will, but let's see what we can get. I'm just gonna do this like right here. Okay, see, it's, nothing's really happening. Like there's slight, no, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Let me try my finger, even though I have these long nails. I think this will be so much better. Let's see. Yeah, that's 1,000 times better. You can just tell with certain shades if they're not like going to pick up on a brush. Ooh, that's a really pretty shade though. And again, because I have hooded eyes, I do like to go a little bit into the crease so that it shows when I'm just like looking straight ahead. I think that would probably even be prettier wet or with a glitter glue, but I'm just gonna leave it like that actually. And it is really pretty, and I did get fallout, so hopefully I'll be able to just like dust that away. Let me go in with just my finger on this one, not even gonna bother with the brush. Woo! See how like much more vibrant that is? Also, I do feel like this type of shade works well when you're like dragging the shade. Like you're almost pressing it under your lid and then dragging a little bit. I'm also just like lightly tapping, but that's what's really, you're almost like crushing the pigment onto your eye and making those sparkles really shine. This would be so much easier if I had no nails. Okay, really easy. Really pretty, really easy. I think next time I use this shade though, I will use a glitter glue or get the brush wet because again, I just think that would be really nice. For the last shade, the inner corner shade, this one right here, I do think that would be really pretty with your finger too, but there's no way I can get right here with my nails. So I'm gonna use a little brush. This is just from Morphe. This is the M213. And I'm hoping that I don't need to wet this one. So I'm going to try to place and drag. Man, I really think this is also like a finger shade. Like it's showing up, but I bet on my finger it would be like, wow. Because when I swatched it with my finger, it was like, wow. Do you see what I mean? It's showing up, but it's not living up to its potential because a brush just is not absolutely excellent. For this shade at least, let's get the brush wet and see where we can go. Because I just know we could get more out of this. That did work a lot better with it wet, but still stand behind like if I could have used a finger, that would have been even better. So that's what we have on the upper part of our eyes. It's looking really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and apply some liner and lashes, and I'll be right back to do the lower lash line. Okay, we're back. Liner, lashes, feeling more glam by the minute here. We're going to go ahead and start the lower lash line. For this, I am going to grab my newest liner. This is from Makeup by Mario. This is the Master Pigment Pro Pencil in Soft Brown. I have been liking this a lot, and what I'm gonna do is place this in the lower waterline and right on the lash line as well. Then I'm going to take a little tiny brush and I'm going to go into the crease shade, which is the first shadow that we used. And I'm just gonna blend out the liner. Do you guys hear King snoring? So much, and it's my favorite sound in the world. Now I'm going to go into the darkest shade, Smoke, on the same brush, and I'm only going to run this on the outer corner, a little bit lower than that crease shade. Just a little touch like that actually doesn't make that big of a difference. Just slightly kind of like brings that part of the eye down. And I'm going to finish with mascara. If you're curious, this one is from MAC. This is the Extended Play Giga Black Lash. Okay, so this is what the eyes look like, and now we're going to do a part I'm really excited about. I'm gonna do the blush and the highlight. Let's start with the blush. I like to use typically just this one from Morphe. This is the E4, just an angled brush. I'm gonna go right into this cream blush. Okay, don't be afraid to pick up some because this is not extremely pigmented. Telling you guys, this does not feel like a cream. It's going over powder though, quite nicely, so happy about that, because if this was patchy on top of powder, I would be pissed. It is nice that I can pick up quite a bit and I can keep going back in. I do love the most with blush. And so for me, I appreciate that I can build it up, but I think most people would appreciate that it's not super, super pigmented right off the bat. And that is a nice, just like everyday shade. Neutral, kind of pink, a little bit of peach, a little bit of warmth. Definitely not a color that's like, oh my God, your blush. It's just a nice everyday shade. Let's now do this highlight, and I'm going to just use a brush again from Morphe. This is the M5 110. I'm sorry, 10. Oof. I'm actually gonna dust off. I did one swipe. Yeah, this is gonna be very pigmented. Oh my God, on camera especially, it's so pretty because it's like bing, right there. Oh, wow. This reminds me a little bit of, oh my God. This reminds me a little bit of Benefit Cookie. A little bit more gold to it. Cookie's a little more like silvery white. But this is as pigmented as that. I like to do a little bit on my forehead. Like right there. I'm like shaking because I'm so hungry. I really need to eat. Just a little bit like that. And I'm also gonna take that little brush from Morphe that I use for the inner corner, and I wanna try this like actually, on the inner corner. Oh yeah. See, this picks up on a brush really nicely. That's pretty. And let's do a little up here. I used to do like a brow bone highlight all the time, and then I guess I got lazy. And now I've been doing it a little bit again, and every time I do, I'm like, wow, it looks so pretty. Just like catches the light. I think this highlight is my favorite thing in the palette. Like I would buy this highlight just by itself. Okay, everything from the palette is done. I'm gonna just do my lips real quick. I think I'm gonna use this lipstick from Illamasqua. This is a newer one to me. This is in the shade Maya. It's matte. I don't know how much that goes with the eyes, but... And then I want to do a little bit of this Fenty gloss. This is the cream gloss in the shade Cookie Jar. It's super pigmented, so I'm not going to do a lot. See, just like that little bit, and then... So this is the finished look. What do you guys think? I have to be honest, I'm a little bit craving a nudish blush with this. I'm sure that looks fine to you guys, but I just want a little bit more. I'm gonna use one of these Pat McGrath blushes. This is in the shade Desert Orchid. It's very like nudie. Just kind of want like, I don't know, a little more. I guess that didn't change that much, but it makes me feel better for some reason. Okay, officially completely done with this makeup look. What do you guys think? I'm gonna tell you my thoughts, although I have a feeling you know them already. I really enjoyed using this palette. I think that it's perfect, once again, for somebody who wants an everyday travel palette, an everyday neutral palette, but they don't want a ton of options. A lot of palettes these days come with like 9, 12, 15, even more shades. And that can be very overwhelming for most people, I would say. So I think this makes a great palette for those types of makeup people that want easy and go-to looks. I think it's also a great way to try out Natasha Denona. Like I mentioned at the beginning, I've I dare to say anything Natasha Denona in my collection at this point. And it's really nice to get familiar with both the matte shades and the shimmer shades that she has in her collection. And you also obviously get to try a cream blush and what seems to be a powder highlight to me, although a very creamy one. I don't think I would classify this as a cream highlight. Regardless if it's cream or not, this highlight is excellent. I think I might even pull out this palette just to use the highlight. That's how good it is. As I already mentioned, if it was sold separately, I would have 100% buy it. I think the eyeshadows performed very well. I really especially loved the mattes and that inner corner shade. I can't wait to use the shimmer ones with a glitter glue because I think they would punch even more. And I do think that you get the biggest payoff from those shimmer shadows if you use a finger. So if you're a short nail person or a no nail person, you'd really get some good use out of the shimmers, but I do think that they turned out pretty well the way I used them today. The blush was fine. It was a nice formula. It wasn't patchy, which I really appreciate. It wasn't as pigmented as I personally like, but I was able to build it up. The color is just like fine. It's good for every day. It's nothing special in my opinion, but the highlight again makes up for it. And I am glad that I bought this palette. I mean, despite all of the fingerprints, I do think this is really pretty packaging, especially with like these curved kind of like beveled edges. I think that's really nice look. Also, the size of the palette is very, very good. If I was creating a palette like this is a very nice size. The shadows are not too small. They're basically the size of her smaller $25 palettes that she has. I think also the blush and the highlighter are great sizes. Plenty big enough for a brush, plenty big enough to get a lot of use out of. It's not just like a travel size palette all in all. I do also like that you can get kind of a glam look, especially if you add a wing liner and lashes like I did today. This does feel very appropriate for like going out to dinner, going out at night, or of course you could wear this to work if that's what you like to do. Also, with this palette's price point of $59, I do feel like that's a fair price point, especially for Natasha Denona. But not only that, I think the quality and what you're getting in the palette makes it definitely worth that price point. So all in all, I'm really happy, and especially happy to share this look with you guys on my YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did though, please give the video a thumbs up, and I also hope you'll subscribe to my channel so you can see future beauty videos from me. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you in my next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.